First on BBC One, Premier League football in Match of the Day with Desmond Lynham.
Good evening, welcome here to Match of the Day. You know, they say with football, the art to the beautiful game is goals, goals, goals. But we here tonight on Match of the Day are going to have to completely disagree by default. Aston Villa are struggling, Newcastle United are inconsistent, but thankfully for England, Alan Shearer is back. Can he get his season underway? Will Aston Villa be able to fight their way out of what could be a potential relegation dogfight?
Comes to Ketspire. Now Des Hamilton, the former Bradford City man. Barton. Pistone's in the box! Oh, it's a great save by Bosnich!
Manchester United are the form side in the Premiership. Leicester City were their opponents today. Did Martin O'Neill's side spring a surprise or two?
Will be Lennon to take. Into Zagorakis Shaw. It's Robbie Savage!
We have all the best moments from this weekend's Premiership action. And we've got the best pundits. Well, we did until they went home early, so Trevor and Trevor are with us. Now, before they go ahead and hit me and we continue, it's time for us to go to our first game. And for once, we're going to follow at the bottom of the table. Aston Villa themselves know at the moment they're not quite out of danger when it comes to their relegation fight. 25 points, they're probably 15 off safety. As for Newcastle United, well, they look like they're going to be safe, but are they going to be challengers for the Premiership? Well, a win here would go a long way to getting that on track, but they find themselves falling into mid-table obscurity. Could it really just be a chasing European football dream for Newcastle United? Your commentator at Villa Park for this one was Trev Motson.
These are worrying times for Aston Villa and Brian Little. They sit just 4 points above the relegation zone, and chairman Doug Ellis has warned that if results don't start to improve, Little's time as manager could well be up. The latest player to strike a dagger through Villa hearts was Chris Sutton, famously one half of the SAS strike force that won Blackburn the title a couple of years ago. Today, the hosts come up against the other half of that duo. Alan Shearer scored his first goal of the season last weekend and is eager to make up for lost time following his injury. Little has chosen to shake up his lineup. Julian Joachim makes a surprising start alongside Dwight York up front, whilst Lee Hendry starts in an unfamiliar wing-back role. Tamuri Ketspire's reward for scoring the winning goal against Bolton is a starting spot. He will nestle in just behind Shearer, but it could be argued that manager Kenny Dalglish has chosen a conservative starting 11. Staunton spreads the play over to Hendry on this right-hand side. Gets the ball back from Taylor. Dwight York! Oh, an early chance for Aston Villa. And that has raised the atmosphere. Plenty of tension around Villa Park today, but an early chance for York has raised the hopes and expectations of the home faithful. Pistone for Newcastle. Dispossessed by captain Gareth Southgate, and this is Joachim for Villa, who is fouled by Warren Barton. Joachim did well to shield the ball from the fullback, and a free kick given by referee Paul Durkin. Quarter of an hour on the clock. And Steve Staunton will look to get this ball into the box. Taylor is fouled, and it's a penalty kick. A penalty to Aston Villa. Rob Lee, the skipper, adjudged to have fouled Taylor inside the box. He can't believe it as we look at the replay here. Well, surely that is outside the area. It's a mistake by the referee, but a penalty has been given. Dwight York for Aston Villa. Scores for Aston Villa! And what a huge goal it is! A huge wave of relief around Villa Park, not least on the touchline from manager Brian Little. It shouldn't have been a penalty, but once it was given, there was no mistake by York. Shaka Hislop went the right way, but he couldn't stop York's efforts. Aston Villa take the lead after 17 minutes. Barton's ball in, headed away by Southgate. Comes to Ketspire. Now Des Hamilton, the former Bradford City man. Barton. Pistone's in the box! Oh, it's a great save by Bosnich. Superb reflexes by the Australian keeper. Pistone thought he'd scored. Shearer, first look at the world's most expensive player. Here's Shearer. It takes a nick off the defender and goes behind for a corner. Good play by Newcastle, who are growing into this match. Shearer's effort just wide in the end. Stuart Pearce over the corner. Half an hour played at Villa Park. David Batty goes up, and that was Pistone, who twice now has come so close to an equaliser. Grayson into Joachim. Back to Grayson, who finds Alan Wright on the left. Dwight York goes up, headed away. Now Grayson. Fouled. And David Batty goes in the book. Newcastle feeling like everything is against them today. Didn't seem enough to warrant a yellow card. But David Batty is the first man booked this afternoon. Looks like it will be Alan Wright, who clips the crossbar. Oh, Villa so close to a second. Right. Gets support from Grayson, who is fouled by Hamilton. And that's a yellow card for Des Hamilton. There's two Newcastle players on cautions now. Grayson again on the receiving end. Batty loses the ball, and this is York. Joachim. Back to York. It's a good run by Grayson if he can get onto the ball. Simon Grayson. Another free kick to Aston Villa in a good position. They've already hit the crossbar from a direct effort. And it looks like it will be Alan Wright again. An hour played at the Holt End. Alan Wright. Good save by Shaka Hislop. Really good stop. Corner ball. Dadizas into Ketspire. Now Gillespie the substitute. Back to Barton. Patient play by Newcastle, who have offered very little this second half, but here's Gillespie looking to change that. Ketspire, good save, Bosnich. First time he's really been called into action in the second period, and it was a good save. Ketspire at the near post. Six minutes remain for Newcastle to get something out of this match. John Dole Thomason, the Denmark international. This is Alan Shearer. Turns. Saved by Bosnich. Shearer's had a couple of sights at goal, but so far unable to hit the back of the net. Hendry for Aston Villa. Draper gives the ball away, and huge groans around Villa Park. Shondal Thomason races away for Newcastle. Ketspire can't quite get there. Batty keeps possession alive. Shearer hits the woman, but Ketspire's there and puts the ball wide at the post. Newcastle come within inches of breaking Villa hearts. What an effort by Shearer, and Ketspire lacked the composure. And is that the moment that Newcastle will live to regret? It's a huge 3 points for Aston Villa. They were sweating at the end, particularly when Alan Shearer hit the post. But it's Dwight York's penalty that's the difference. Newcastle will argue that it should never have been a penalty kick. There'll be more of that in the coming days. But all that Aston Villa and Brian Little might care about is the victory. And it is finished at Villa Park. Aston Villa 1, Newcastle United 0.
Well, chaps, so we've got to talk about it, haven't we? Was that a penalty? Obviously it wasn't, was it? No, it was never in a month of Sundays. I have no idea what the referee saw there. It's 2-3 feet out the box. It's a dreadful decision. And to lose a game like that is absolutely sickening. It really is, but you look on the balance of the game. Neither team was finishing great. You know, yes, the post was rattled. The bar was rattled by either player, but the finishing weren't great, and I think that was a factor we've got to sort of face here with this one. Well, you say that, but will Newcastle United think perhaps a sharper Alan Shearer that gone through pre-season? Does he score those chances? I don't know. For me, I think this Newcastle United side isn't as balanced as last season in the way in which they're performing, and I think it shows ever so slightly. I think one of the factors really for Shearer is he's having to play essentially by himself in this game. And he's got his wingers for support. He looks slightly isolated, and I think he is short of match practice. And I think in terms of finishing, that perhaps it was let him down. Well, after Aston Villa's win, let's take a look at some of the other games that took place in the Premiership involving those at the bottom of the table. West Ham United have one of the most impressive home records of the season, but they also have some impressive players. Steve Lomas showed his skills with his excellent free kick that was able to give the Hammers the lead. But it was Everton that bravely fought back after a penalty was given after Duncan Ferguson was brought down by McCloskey. The referee didn't hesitate to point to the spot. Up stepped Gary Speed with the responsibility. A good old-fashioned penalty with the laces smashed down the middle. And then Everton took the lead through Gary Speed again when Mikel Madar played in Duncan Ferguson, who had time to shuffle, run, pick out a pass. Gary Speed able to pick out the back of the net. But West Ham United have got fighting spirit at home and were able to get themselves level. Ayel Berkovic provided the wonderful pass. John Moncur provided the wonderful finish. Upton Park jumping for joy at West Ham with a famous point. Everton will feel like a point thrown away here. Wednesday aren't completely safe. Wimbledon aren't completely out of causing other teams problem in the division. Mark Pembridge's brilliant ball in found Benito Carboni for an emphatic finish to give Wednesday the lead. But so often this season it's been Wednesday's defensive performance that has let them down, and that was the case, especially when the chance was to break and Efen Okoku's brilliant header was able to fly through the back of the net. I'm sorry, but there's no way that's being stopped. This one finished 1-1 at Hillsborough. Bolton Wanderers are unbeaten at home. Well, they were unbeaten at home a record that came crashing down thanks to a fantastic performance by Coventry City, but in particular Dion Dublin. He was absolutely majestic in the air, getting home his first goal after Darren Huckabee's brilliant cross and the aerobatics to move in the air. Dublin had a second. The third goal arrived through good play again when George Boateng saw the run of his midfield compatriot Gary McAllister. His finisher was emphatic. Nothing Jääskeläinen can do as Coventry were 3 up. And then it was 4. Boateng provided an absolutely wonderful pass. First touch was brilliant. The touch by Jääskeläinen, well, the least said about that the better. Still, Dion Dublin, Premiership hat-trick in the form of his life for his side. There were a chance for Bolton to get one back. Holsworth and Blake were to combine to play in John Solarco. His finish was far too much for Marcus Edmond, and it gave the Reebok hope. The hope springs eternal, and in the second half Coventry made sure it would be an emphatic win for them. Clement was able to find the space. Darren Huckabee was able to find an excellent finish. 5-1 to Coventry. It's their best away performance of the season. For Bolton, it was a chastening day in the Premiership. Now, Derby County know that sometimes there is an art to putting defenders under pressure, because if you do, a mistake could arise. And it's exactly what happened here. Iranio to Baiano, and it's 1-0 to Derby County at Pride Park. Justin Edinburgh may not want to watch this again. A brilliant free kick was able to get Spurs level. Ginola to Ferdinand, and leave unmarked in the area at your peril Jurgen Klinsmann. His unstoppable strike brought Spurs level. But it wasn't able to get the point for them that perhaps they may feel they deserved. They were caught out in the end. Lee Carsley found the space. His finish was coolly slotted past Ian Walker. Derby County winners over Spurs. Now, Crystal Palace did quite well against Leeds United. What they didn't do so well was against Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. He had the freedom of South London to be able to head the ball home and put Leeds United ahead. And the second goal was well worked when he was played through coolly by Wallace, and the excellent 2-touch finish was far too much for the Crystal Palace defence. Delight for Hasselbank and Leeds United, who've got a real gem on their hands. Well, a side here that perhaps isn't flying in the goals like they used to, but certainly is able to grind out their results, is Manchester United. Leicester City had a fantastic start to the season, but they have seen that form drift away. Could Martin O'Neill's side provide a little shock here, or will Manchester United continue their climb up the Premiership? Your commentator for this one is Trev Champion.
It's an interesting clash at Old Trafford today. Manchester United in form at the top of the table, entertaining a Leicester side that looked very good last week at Filbert Street against a strong Liverpool team. And there are a few changes to Alex Ferguson's side today. Jordi Cruyff brought in place of Ryan Giggs, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Teddy Sheringham will be the strike partnership. Leicester City held Liverpool in impressive fashion last week, but the goals just weren't there. Emil Heskey has a job on his shoulders today, whilst the strong core of Leicester is maintained. Elliott. Leicester City stroking it around here, but under pressure already from that midfield of Button Scholes. Heskey finding Guppy. There's a real right foot if he wants to use it. He tried to cut in, but he was crowded out, and it's found its way to Sheringham. Solskjaer. And that was misjudged by Scholes, but he got a lucky break. Solskjaer, Scholes again, that's a fine ball out to Cruyff. Cruyff with the chip in, looking for Solskjaer, off the post, Sheringham, and Watts reacted quickly. If he hadn't, it was a tap-in. Good play by Jordi Cruyff, trusted in the side today. Solskjaer turning and hitting the post, it was a fine effort. And Watts did a great job crowding out Sheringham. Long ball for Beckham was on point. Phil Neville. And Neville just sprays it out for Irwin. Scholes, he can hit it, he does! And Keller down low to his right. Scholes with a dipping strike. It's a good stop on this wet surface today at Old Trafford. Phil Neville. Beckham. Little triangle there between Scholes, Beckham and Neville, the youth combining. Johnson, that was a lazy pass, and here's Heskey. Muzzy is it for Zagorakis, and Scholes. That looked like a foul, it will be a free kick. Clumsy challenge more than anything from Scholes. It will be Lennon to take. Into Zagorakis short. It's Robbie Savage! Just flashing past the post. Schmeichel was troubled there, but full stretch. Savage, who had the best chance for Leicester last week, has had the best one so far today for his side. Thought by Neville. Sheringham won that well. Here's Beckham. Back for Sheringham. Some good link-up play from Sheringham today. Beckham with a cross, and it's into Solskjaer. But and Scholes through the lines. Sheringham, Solskjaer slipped. It's Cruyff. He's got Irwin with him. And Irwin for Sheringham! Well, he's been a threat, Teddy Sheringham, he really has. Back in the side today after missing out at Southampton. That's 2 in 3 for him. It's absolutely postage stamp by Dennis Irwin, but there's still a bit to do, and Sheringham hanging in the air. Shades of Dennis Law with that header. Terrific presence in the air is Teddy Sheringham, and he directs the header past Keller for 1-0. Scholes looking long for Solskjaer. Lost the battle that time. Heskey for Lennon, and the long pass might find Zagorakis. He's got Irwin with him, who's usually reliable in those situations, and was so that time. They've got it back though, Leicester. Heskey with a shot deflected for a corner right on half time. There won't be much time left following this set piece, but Leicester have looked dangerous towards the end of this first half. Lennon again. Savage! And that was a chance there for Leicester. He got above Beckham. And the half-time whistle goes as predicted. It was a strong finish to the half for Leicester City, who can be pleased with their work. Savage with that chance right on half-time. His Cruyff justified his start today. Yeah, a rest for Ryan Giggs. Here's Beckham. Picked it up from Sheringham again, gives it back to Sheringham. And that combination has put Leicester under real pressure today and almost resulted in a second goal for Manchester United. A long 1-2 and Sheringham couldn't keep it down. Lennon. Guppy got the flick. Here's Watts. Steve Guppy again. And Watts cutting inside. And Heskey's got a bit of room. He's hit the post. He's going to come back for Guppy. Watts again. They set up the chance. And Savage's shot is charged down by Paul Scholes. What a chance for Leicester City. They've been knocking on the door. And Heskey beat Schmeichel, but not the frame of the goal. Guppy. Beckham wasn't quick enough to him there. And Savage went for the shot, but came in with a challenge. Referee deeming it a free kick. And they've taken it quickly. Savage again! And Schmeichel this time behind it. Robbie Savage has had his shooting boots on in the last couple of games. That's a strong hand by the Great Dane. Long ball. Or is it first time for Zagorakis? And they've worked this well, is it? And Heskey! That's the chance! The best one for Leicester City. Much like Sheringham in the first half. Not far out, but this time it was a far better chance in fairness. And Heskey didn't convert. But loses out. Leicester are growing stronger. And here's Heskey, and he's bypassed Gary Pallister. It's Emil Heskey for Leicester City, and Schmeichel throws himself out. It is not Heskey's day today. He had a clear run on goal. Pallister completely beaten, but Schmeichel bailing his centre half out. It's been a similar, if not better, performance than the one against Liverpool by Leicester City. Just the one goal the difference this time that Liverpool couldn't manage. Savage, foul there by Nicky Butt. Savage has given him a torrid time today, and it's a booking for the United number 8. Just too late into the challenge. Watts heavily involved on that left-hand side in towards Heskey. Great defensive header that time by Gary Pallister. Lennon. Savage back to Lennon. They're looking for a shot and it's deflected out. Schmeichel couldn't get there, but Leicester are a continuous threat. Nicky Butt afforded a lot of room in the middle of the park here for the first time today. Neville for Beckham, and Sheringham near post. It almost worked again for United. A rare attack for them this half in what has been a frustrating day for the Old Trafford faithful, but they almost sealed the win. Where's a hard one? Yeah, it's tough for us. Leicester, we watched them at Liverpool put on a great display, and they've brought the same today, and we've not handled it. More disappointed with the amount of chances we conceded. A lot of chances that were avoidable, and Emil Heskey another day scores those goals and we lose the game.
And they battled back, and eventually, I would agree with you, they deserved it. We didn't put enough pressure on them second half, and their impetus and galvanisation, call it what you want, got them the 3 points. Yeah,
we just pleased for the points, and I rested a few players today because it was a hard game for most part of Southampton last week, so I'm pleased with the ones I brought in. Jordi Cruyff, particularly had a good game. The players worked hard, and we've got a lot of work to do on the training pitch because it's going to be a long season, and when you're at the top, everyone's vying for you.
Strong words from both managers there, but not necessarily a terribly strong performance by Manchester United, apart from one player you thought stood out, Trevor. Yeah, I thought this was you get games in a season where certain players win you them, and I think this was the game in which Peter Schmeichel got 3 points for Manchester United. Yes, on another day, slightly better timing, slightly better finishing. I think you're right. There's a good chance here that Leicester City could win this game. On the chances that they did take, the ones that they did have one-on-one, Schmeichel was fantastic. It was just a brilliant performance, and you have these games sometimes in your season where the goalkeeper is just able to get you those points. And this was it. This was phenomenal. What do you think? What do you think Leicester City would take from this? Beaten, but you can argue they were probably the better side. I probably have to agree with you. I really do think. I think Leicester got the better of Manchester United today. I mean, they'll be disappointed, but to go against a side which has won 4 of the last 5 premierships, that'll give them a little bit of impetus to keep going, really. I think Leicester are still on a high, I think, from last season's Coca-Cola Cup win, but, you know, they were disappointed in Europe. If they can pick themselves up and get a good one together, get out their mid-table, European football could be on the horizon for them again. Well, 4 sides vying to be in Europeans' top competition next season. 3 are vying to still be in the League Cup. Rounds up of the final game of the Premiership. A Coca-Cola Cup semi-final in the week for Chelsea. Barnsley were their opponents today, and this was an occasion where Chelsea got back to winning ways. And again, it was pressure showing that the art here, especially when Gianfranco Zola was able to play the ball in. Tore Andre Flo was able to apply the finish, and Chelsea took the lead. And Flo again was the man that got the second goal. A long ball by Petrescu, an offside trap that was not a trap at all. Hope springs eternal, but Flo with the finish, and Chelsea with a good win again as they got back to winning ways. And Chelsea's opponents were also back to winning ways. An excellent performance by an Arsenal side that looked like they beat Southampton without really getting into second gear, especially when Patrick Vieira headed home Ray Parlour's corner. Now, the kickoff that took up straight away, and Matt Le Tissier slipped, and in doing so suddenly gave the ball to Nicolas Anelka. He burst clear of all Southampton defenders. A cool finish by the Frenchman. Sure, there's a collector's item for that goal. The third was very much Arsenal in their pomp again. New signing Christopher Ray found room. Ray Parlour found the goal to finish coolly past Jones, and Arsenal were 3-0 winners. You wonder, that Coca-Cola semi-final is going to be really tasty between those two. Chelsea and Arsenal it is. Liverpool, of course, have got Middlesbrough on Wednesday, but here they have Blackburn Rovers, and in this Monday evening game it was settled by this goal from Michael Owen that broke 3 past Stefan Onsho, and then suddenly realised Tim Flowers was off his line and thought, why not? You know, like I said, something special about this, lads. But so did the opposition know that. This crunching tackle by Colin Hendry hurt Michael Owen. It looks like he won't play any part in Wednesday's semi-final. Manchester United maintain their 4-point lead at the top of their Premiership. Chelsea and Arsenal remain their 2 challengers. Chelsea and Arsenal will meet each other next in the Coca-Cola Cup. And a couple of weeks' time, they'll meet in the Premiership. Liverpool's surprise win over Blackburn Rovers edges the gap between them, 4th and 5th. After Newcastle United's defeat, they fall further adrift at the top 5. Aston Villa's win moves them up to 14th, 7 points clear of the relegation points. Could this be an impetus for Aston Villa to climb out? Everton after that point still find themselves bottom of the Premiership. Barnsley and Bolton fly into it. Southampton after that defeat, they might have a lot to do. It looks really between 15th to 20th that could be in the relegation danger zone this year. Well, 14 games to go in the Premiership. At this point, we like to make our bold predictions. And we will make a bold prediction here on Match of the Day. Is sometimes the man of the day isn't the man that scores the goals, it's the man that stops them. Peter Schmeichel, it's your Match of the Day, man of the day from us and from all of us. Thank you very much for watching. Cheerio. Thank you for watching here this match on Trevor Sports. If you've liked it, please don't be afraid to like, share and subscribe to the channel. And if you do fancy it, head on over to Ko-fi. The link is in the description. Buy me a coffee for all the hard work. Further than that, make sure you enjoy more games coming up.